Hope I never have to use it, but something tells me I will. Never trust a tourist advertisement.
Now get out!
At last, Mr. Charles Reed. What a pleasure to finally meet you in the flesh.
Nice to meet you.
Johannes van der Berg, at your service. I did promise to meet you the moment you arrived.
Ah, much obliged, Mr. Vanderberg. I guess I didn't expect you to mean so literally.
Please call me Johannes. But where are my manners? Welcome to the proud city of Oakmont. Alas, now is not its finest hour, though it is its most important.
You said you know someone who can help me with my problem. The visions have been getting worse.
Such vividness of dreams is not uncommon here in Oakmont. By chance, the man I spoke of, Robert Throgmorton, is already at the port. He has dedicated a lot of time and effort to investigate this issue. Alas, I fear he has a more pressing matter on his hands.
How can I find Mr. Throgmorton?
Don't worry, you can't miss him. Throgmorton tends to stand out from the crowd.
Can you tell me a little about Mr. Throgmorton?
A remarkable creature. Scion of a robust bloodline. A philanthropist, a scholar, and the patron of the famous Oakmont University. A man of great ambitions and even greater ego. Do not make him wait.
I'll need a place to lay my head while I'm here.
Fear not. I've already feathered a nest for you. There's a room in your name at the Devil's Reef Hotel.
Sounds charming.
Don't judge a book by its cover, mister.
What's the best way to get around Oakmont? I'd like to drop my things at the hotel. You're too kind, Johannes. Can you steer me towards the Devil's Reef?
Take this map. I've marked the hotel and a few other key places.
Other places?
You're a private eye, yes? Well, I've highlighted the police station, city archive, newspaper. This city is insular, its ways mysterious. No one will take you by the hand.
How do you fill your days, Mr. Vanderberg?
I host a philosophy club for the like-minded intelligentsia, gathering seeds of thought, like moths drawn to a flame.
Does Oakmont really have much of a market for philosophy these days?
There is no consciousness without pain, Mr. Reed. No better moment for clarity than times of hardship.
Well, that's it for now, I think.
No. The pleasure was mine, Mr. Reed.
Oh, before you go, how can I get in touch with you later?
Don't worry about that. I'm the kind of man who finds you.
I don't care about your petty excuses. No one leaves the port until my son is found, and that is final.
Excuse me. Are you Robert Throgmorton?
I am, but not interested. Go away.
The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator, just arrived from Boston.
Private investigator, you say?
If I may ask, what happened to your son?
Why do you care?
Well, like I said, I'm a PI. Finding...
Is it? Well, Albert was part of a deep-sea expedition I commissioned. This useless fool over here says he was barely conscious, out of his mind, talking gibberish.
And you don't believe him?
Complete malarkey. I know my Albert. I raised him strong and smart, the best of his kind. Albert's disappearance is the work of Innsmouthers, mark my word.
I take it you're not the biggest fan of these Innsmouthers.
Those fish-faced freaks have overrun this city since the police burned Innsmouth to the ground. But now, those filthy migrants occupy half this damned city. The port, Grimhaven Bay, Salvation Harbor, the shells. They are everywhere.
So they're just refugees?
Hardly. They've taken work from the local fishermen. They stir and agitate against us, the Throgmorton family, not to mention that crime rates have skyrocketed. Simply speaking, they are a big stinking pile of trouble.
I've heard you're the man to speak to about visions.
Another newcomer will...
Can I ask you...
How dare you?
Mr. Throgmorton, let me help you. I'm rather good at tracking down missing people. I'll find Albert.
What makes you think you...
Let's just say I tend to see things that others miss.
Vera, you have a point, newcomer.
Please forgive the question, but I've never met a man...
That's because no man measures up to the Throgmorton. My father united with a certain raw...
I need to know more about what happened to Albert.
Dane, did you not listen at all? I already told you everything. This fisherman supposedly brought him to the house, and then left to call me. But when I...
Anything else?
Clearly, something suspicious occurred inside the house. I suggest you stop dawdling and go see for yourself.
Where's the house where this all happened?
For Kay's sake,
You mentioned...
Yes. Face the house, then to the left is a beach that...
As much as I'm enjoying the weather, Mr. Throgmorton, It's time for me to get
Find my son, newcomer, and be quick about it. I gave you clear instructions, did I not?
Don't do anything stupid, newcomer, and keep your hands where I can see them. Don't do anything stupid, newcomer, and keep your hands where I can see them.
I've said everything I know. You look familiar, but old Billy hasn't seen you around. You look familiar, but old Billy hasn't seen you around.
I gave you clear instructions, did I not?
It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this. It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this. It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone toss. Hey.
Oh, my head. What?
It's okay. I'm Charles Reed, Private Eye.
Oh.
Tell me about you.
Name's Will Hammond. I'm a fisherman. We all are. Live here together. Me, poor fella Paul, Barry, and Innsmouther Lewis Flynn. We moved here after the flood. I worked on the railroad, but the rail ain't kicking anymore, so I started fishing. It was add or starve.
I want to know what happened.
I don't remember much. Me, Paul, and Lewis, we were here. This is our house. Barry was outside, on his business. Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son. He was unconscious, barely breathing. Barry left again to call Mr. Robert.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. Then he started to make these horrible sounds and... okay, my head began to burst. And he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing, just dreams. Drowned streets, a sleeping giant, a voice that called...
That sounds familiar. Where are all the other guys?
That's Paul there on the floor. Kay be with him. Barry's outside with Mr. Throgmorton. And I have no idea where Lewis or Throgmorton's son got to. Starting to suspect the worst.
Do you know how Paul...
I don't know. When I pulled myself together...
Who is this K?
Outsiders, show some respect. Kay is our lord, our light.
Sorry, I didn't know. I'll leave you to it.
Please, Detective, sir, tell me the truth.
I don't know yet, Will. The police will stop anyone coming. I'm surprised they don't have someone's portrait here. Never seen that. Seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much.
Glenna, Nechri, Glenna, Gemheil, Nugulina Haften.
Five cards short of a full house. I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp.
Take this, ape face. Yeah, run!
What's happening?
Okay, let's see what we have here.
Take this, ape face.
What's happening?
Take this, ape face. Yeah, run!
When Albert Throgmorton woke up, he was not himself. He attacked the fishermen, and his hysteria spread to them. When he got wounded, he fled. Choo-choo. Ahem. There was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee. So the fisherman pursued Albert, even though... Even though Albert was wounded, he managed to climb that high. Robert wasn't exaggerating when he said he raised him strong. The blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have got far. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate.
Stay alert. Monsters lurk underground. They're everywhere.
Ugh, I'll miss the carpenter's food giveaway with this darn port closure.
Welcome to...
I've seen some.
So you met... They arrived in the flood. If it bleeds, you can kill it. Keep your gun. Remember, better to be a coward and live.
I'm looking for a
Yeah, even if I...
As it happens, I know you owe a debt to Mr. Flynn. Trouble is, it seems Lewis is in trouble. Might have even come here to hide. But you hand
Rock. That would explain it.
So,
He's upstairs. Here's the key. You gotta promise to...
smart man. Bye.
What the... Get the... Oh...
Hey, who are you? What are you doing?
Charles Reed, private investigator. Mr. Throgmorton hired...
Ugh, that darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down. I only want to speak, for now. But no, if you reach for your gun, you'll hit the floor faster than you...
I got nothing to...
You shot to kill. No warning, no second chances.
I can't remember it. When he woke, it was like a bloody mist, and me covered in blood. I had no idea what happened, though. I suspected it had something to do with that ape.
Start at the beginning.
We were in our house, me, Paul, and Will. Barry'd gone to the sea. Though I told him that it would only bring bad luck. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive.
Come on, Lewis. Focus.
Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was bragging about how much Mr. Throgmorton would give us for saving his son. But that ape, he was out cold. Then woke in an instant and started screaming, attacking us.
The things you did to Albert don't look like a bloody rage. A fatal shot to the head, a hidden body. One might start to wonder if it...
I don't know what to say.
What kind of...
Oh, so you're here to attack me just because I look different?
No, I'm sorry.
Innsmouther's bodies were blessed by the sea. You're gonna see a lot of us here, so you better get over it. We are proud of who we are.
I hear there's a bit of a feud between the Innsmouthers and...
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. We just needed a place to stay.
And so?
We had to fight for every crumb of bread. And those Throgmortons in their high castle only made our life harder, always conspiring behind our backs, always setting people against us. I'd love to see them suffer like we suffered.
You mentioned a grand family. What do you mean? Yeah, a newcomer with a gun. Answer the question.
Okay. People here are crazy about bloodlines and tradition and reputation. The head honchos of Oakmont, there's the Carpenters who control most of the city's underworld, the Blackwoods who share kin with Innsmouthers through the Marsh family.
And let me guess, the Throgmortons.
Right, those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone, there's nobody left to protect us Innsmouthers.
I think
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. I know I'm in no position to ask. I didn't want to do whatever it is I did. Honest, have mercy, please. I have a family. Without me, they'll starve.
I won't tell him. Everyone seems to agree there's been an outbreak of madness around these parts. I'm inclined to believe you fell victim to it too. Plus, it seems heartless to tear apart a family after what you've been through already.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Reed. Thank you.
That said, the port's still closed. What will you do?
Hide here, I guess. Don't have a choice. The streets are flooded with police.
I'll make something up to tell Throgmorton. Leave as soon as you can.
Thank you again, sir. I won't forget this.
Mr. Throgmorton? Yeah. I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. I'm sorry, but...
No. It can't...
I've tracked down...
Where?
I tracked the murderer down, but he was attacked by those... It was that Innsmouther fisherman, Lewis. He was covered in your son's blood.
Are you certain?
Beyond any doubt. All that's left of him is a heap of flesh and this scrap of cloth. It's for...
Alas, this was my revenge to exact, not some wild beast's. Still, justice has been served.
Mr. Throgmorton.
Yes, you've earned it. But I digress.
I'm looking into an outbreak of erratic behavior and madness, all linked to shared...
Indeed. Then our goals align. This inexplicable hysteria has spread through Oakmont after the flood.
A geological expedition.
I have reason to believe the flood and this madness have the same source. As above, so below.
You mentioned the flood.
You weren't here, Mr. Reed. What happened defied scientific...
Do these cases of hysteria involve
Since the flood, many Oakmonters have had similar nightmares. Indeed, Professor Doe, the expedition leader, complained of that.
Waterlogged ruins with unnatural architecture, a sleeping giant, drowned streets, and a voice calling from the depths.
Her words exactly. She proposed the expedition, desperately wanting to find the cause.
Has your expedition found anything?
I do not know. Albert was part of it. His passing cannot be coincidence. Why was he alone at the port? And where are the others?
You think your son was killed because the expedition uncovered something?
Is it so hard to believe? I had no news for a week, then Albert...
It does.
Mr. Reed, I want you to find out what's going on.
If I'm going to look into this, I'll need to know more. Where should I start?
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters and a key.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear.
I'm sorry, Mr. Throckmorton. I just meant the more I know.
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but left all preparation. When you've finished, come see me at the Throgmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove. Here, I'll show you.
What about my...
They will be reimbursed after you complete your task. And of course, you've earned some. I'll also include a... The dollar lost its use here, Mr. Reed. After the flood.
Never again, they say. No matter. Makes this place feel more like home. I miss Boston already. The door won't budge.
Finally, you're awake. Gotta tell you, though.
No.
I expect my guests to be respectable. Moans.
Got any proof it was me?
That's exactly what I knew. Don't think your yellow-clad patron means you get away.
You're not exactly friendly with your guests.
All these newcomers after the...
What do you mean?
You can't imagine the crazy notes and books I find after they move out. Only thing they're...
Can I have a look?
I knew it. I tell you, no one sane would be interested. I'm watching you, newcomer.
Stop it.
I'm watching you, newcomer.
you.